There's this thing like Netflix approved camera or Netflix approved blah blah blah, and this got me thinking most of the time, because in one of my last documentary film, The Berlin Symphony of Rhythms, I used around 6 cameras on that project alone, because I just keep shooting. Maybe after 1 year I have to shoot something again, after another, so I keep shooting and I kept shooting like every time, and this is my point. So now the project also got selected in some big festival. It was screened in like a really big environment with thousands of people coming, and also at the first event we opened 2,500 euro at the box office, which is like, for someone like me, I'm nobody, it's and also I don't have, like, let's say, a crazy Instagram following for me to be able to accomplish that. So I'm just saying, it's not about the camera you use, because even I used Sony FX6 to shoot some part of that film, but that film also got qualified to be on other platforms as well. But what I'm trying to say is there is a myth of okay, this camera is a Netflix approved camera, but I can tell you, working on that project, doing that documentary, it's really hard to tell which camera is which one and which camera is which one. Only me, that I shot and direct the whole project, I know, okay, on this project, on this time, we use this camera to shoot this one. On that time, we use this camera to, and this is my point. And I think maybe, I won't say Netflix being hard with their requirement about, what camera should be Netflix approved, but I also think this thing also have been kind of treated as a selective thing. Yeah, it's like a very selective selection, They select the camera to be Netflix approved, but they are also very selective about it. Not because of the spec, because I can say the specs actually of the camera that has been released, let's say, in the past 3 years, especially from Lumix, going to Canon and going to Red, going to Nikon, going to even DJI, even their action cams. Those cameras are quite worth it also too for big screen, because there is a part of my documentary that I shot in Turkey, and there is a very small fraction that I shot on Osmo Action 4, and I add it to the film. And even on the big screen, the image didn't really break. It doesn't really look like, okay, it's just like a broken image, because this is the reason why a lot of people are scared of playing the project on a big screen, because they think the quality is going to drop or is going to fall off. And this, let's say, the myth of, okay, this camera is more qualified to shoot and to present your film in the cinema. But the camera of the last 5 years, name it, I can definitely say I have used more than 15 different cameras within the past 3 years from different brands, including Action Cam. I'm not saying Netflix should approve all the camera to be Netflix approved camera, but I can definitely say most camera are qualified as much as Sony FX6 also is qualified. I think Lumix S5IIX, that camera should be a Netflix approved camera. Even the Lumix X1 Mark II, also that camera too should be a Netflix approved camera, because the image quality is right there neck and neck with with Sony FX6. But again, maybe some people will say, okay, I'm being biased because I'm a Lumix shooter. I've used tons of Lumix camera, and also when I started my filmmaking career, I started with Lumix camera. Even the camera I started is Lumix Z300. It's like it's a camera that has like this built-in what's it called, zoom lens to it. You can zoom out, you cannot detach the lens. It's this is how I started my filmmaking, you know, when I started, and ever since then I just keep using Lumix. But at some point in my filmmaking career, I get to use what's it called, other cameras. I get to experience with different cameras. I get to see, okay, which one is better. What I think I like about, let's say, the Lumix camera is, let's say, the interface is very easy for me, like to always go through it. Why Sony? If you're someone who started with Sony also, you will have the same feeling. But in the past 1 year, I would say have used Sony camera more than I use Lumix camera. And if I would still think about, let's say, the user interface of it, I will still always go back to the Lumix interface because it's more direct, more structured, and more organized. Why sometimes with Sony everything is with this, a lot of color, blue, pink, red, and it's just too much. And with Lumix camera, you just only have this yellow and black and red, and that's just all about it. So you just navigate in within those boxes and everything. But now going to the camera also, you know, you have like Blackmagic camera, the pixels, the 6K and the 12K. I think I used the Pixel 6K once, and also the 12K. I have been in a place where they are using it, but I don't personally use it. And I can say that camera, those camera also too, should be or would be Netflix approved camera soon, because the image quality are just insane. When I said insane. And this is also some of the reason why I think these days it's not really about, you know, the brand of the camera anymore. It's not also about, you know, if maybe we should approve this. It's the one Netflix decided to approve. So there are more cameras that were way more qualified than Sony FX6 that doesn't even make, what's it called, the Netflix approved list of camera thing and something like that. But I would say it's still a camera that wants to be on the list, but there are also other cameras that as qualify as Sony FX6. And I think we just need to break it down, because when people think about Netflix approved camera, they will think about Sony FX6, and the other one gets overshadowed. And this also thing, because it helps Sony FX6 to sell more. So who knows if there is a deal between Netflix and Sony? So nobody knows for sure. I don't know personally. I don't make any research, so I'm talking from that place of I don't know, but I just think. But from using it and using other camera, I think there are tons of camera that are as qualified as Sony FX6. So yeah, that's just about it for me. But anyway, thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.